Hi, everyone. This is Sam Silverman, Managing Partner of EB5AN. Thank you for taking time to join us for today's presentation. Today, we're going to be speaking with Milan, an EB5 investor from India, who recently invested in the EB5AN Twin Lakes Rural EB5 project and received I-5260 approval and work. And Milan, thank you so much for taking some time over the weekend to I guess to start first, would you mind introducing yourself, sharing a little bit about your background professionally, what brought you to the US, and what kind of led you to explore EB5?
Yeah, hi. I came to US in 2014, and since then I was on H1 visa, working as a software engineer in US with like different employer. The main reason for my doing EB5 is I want to get out of that renewing H1 every 3 years and going through the visa process and all that. It was like very inconvenient and ever like have stress on family to do that process. And the another reason is for my son's study. So he want to pursue a medical domain, and for him to get admission into the colleges is almost like impossible if we are not citizen or permanent residents over here. So those were the two reasons why I pursued for EB5.
Got it. Got it. And how long had you been in the United States before you decided to do EB5?
So I'm here like since 2014, so it's almost 9 years before I decided. And also like there was no inside date for I'm getting the H1 green card, so that is like infinite time.
So less than a year ago, you applied in the Twin Lakes project.
Yep.
Your I-5260 temporary green card approval. You've had your work and travel permit approval for some time. Now that you have much more comfortable and relaxed, no more H1B headaches to deal with, what are your career and kind of personal plans now that
the
US fixed?
Yeah, the career plan is like I'm like very at very good experience level in my job. So plan going ahead is to like do a one full-time job, and if I get some like consultancy, so I want to keep doing it and on something more than I can right now.
Got it. So a little more flexibility, and you can do things on a part-time basis, and you're not tied to any one employer permanently.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Before you did EB5, did you look at other visa options as well, or were you kind of just fed up with H1B and you just said, EB5 is the only thing I want to look at?
So I like check various options like moving to Canada and trying some like EB1 or other option, but everything is like either too hard to do it or almost like impossible. So then I came across EB5 and particularly the TEA, and thought that yeah, I might be able to do this. So that's why I go for EB5.
So at that point, about a year ago, let's say, you kind of came to the conclusion that you wanted to do an EB5 investment, and then once that kind of crystallized in your mind, what did you do next? Research, find an attorney to help you? What did that process look like?
So in last February, I like decided that I should go with EB5, and then I started searching online that how EB5 works. So Googled a bit for the process and how it works, and then I come across that I need to go through to do it properly, like I need to go through a regional center. And then I started search for the regional center. I went through all the websites, the current regional centers, and how those got approval from USCIS and all that. And then I came across EB5AN website, and it was like very detailed. So that was the time, and I went through the testimonials on the website, went through all the details that how the process works and the projects and all that. So that was the point when I decided that I would like to go with EB5AN.
And in terms of the immigration attorney, tell us about that research process. Did you interview a few attorneys, and why did you end up hiring the one that you did, and what was that experience like?
Yeah, so I interviewed like a couple of attorneys, and the thing I was looking for is like who is like experienced in EB5 process, can answer my questions quickly, understand my particular position, that how I'm going to source the fund and all that. And so that is what I was looking for. And then I also talked with Siddharth, and he also suggested Anahita. And working with her was like flawless. Like she answered each and every questions and was not like a attorney, but she like helped me a lot like a friend. She was very quick in responding each and every questions. I have explained the detail that how it works and what are the drawbacks if we follow some other way or this way, like because it's very complex process. You don't know many things in that. So she was very helpful in that way, preparing the documents, submitting it. It was flawless.
Tell me a little bit about that process. Like once you decided to go with Anita, how long did it take to prepare the application, and working nights, weekends, getting it together? How
Yeah.
long did that take you? What was that like?
So once the first thing is like how I'm going to secure the funds, and that is when I started talking with Anahita, and she explained me. I discuss my plan with her. She helped me on that what I need from for the source of fund documentation and everything. So started I think around April in 2023, and it took almost like 1 month till I get the source and started the documentation. And she was like, um, she explained that how it works, what documentation I need, and very minute things like I need to keep everything in the record in a same checking accounts, how we are going to show the history and everything.
Yep, got it. And your application got approved without any questions, right? Just
Yeah,
instant approval.
yeah. It was instant approval. Only like few RFEs I got was like just photographs and nothing else. Like everything else was fine.
Yep,
Perfect.
yep, got it. Okay. So having gone through that process successfully now, and looking back, what advice would you have for with respect to picking an attorney, to help them? What do you think are the most important aspects of the attorney, having just gone through that?
Yeah, most important thing is like how experienced attorney is, how many process attorney has done like this, and what are the problems they have solved while doing this process,
Yep.
and also the response time is very important to me, and I think that is very important thing to look for while checking for interview attorneys.
One last item on that before we move over to the projects and the regional centers.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned about other testimonials on the EB5AN site. Can you talk a little bit about those testimonials, and why those were helpful for you, and in kind of figuring out which attorney, which project, what was helpful for you in those testimonials?
So when I started, I think it was like couple of testimonials over there, and one one important for me was like I went through all the full interview with Siddharth, and that helped in very big way because he has done a lot of research, how he selected the project, how he selected the EB5, and what things need to be careful while selecting all these things was like very helpful. And that will sometimes as a supplement of what your thought process is, and sometimes you get new ideas that, yeah, I need to be careful about this, or this is the process. So you learn something new, that what you need to be careful. And also it gives you a comfort that, yeah, he has gone through this whole process and it worked, so it's going, yeah, it gives you a little more trust that, yeah, this, you can also follow this path and you'll be successful, kind of.
Got it. Got it. Okay. That's really helpful.
Yeah.
All right. So let's switch topics a little bit and talk a little bit about the project, the regional centers. So, at that point about a year ago, you'd decided you wanted to do EB5. You'd done some research on the attorneys. You decided to hire Anita and her firm to help with your application. What was your thought process, as you evaluated, different EB5 projects? What was important for you, and what did you really try to focus on? And how did that kind of process lead you to EB5AN and eventually the Twin Lakes project?
Yeah, so the thought process was like while investing this big amount, you want a trustworthy source, that everything goes well and you don't miss anything that you don't know, and you cannot afford missing anything. So research is very important, and that's why I came to EB5AN website and go through all the processes that helps understand the process and give you a trust that, yeah, this is going to work. So on particular EB5AN website, the main thing I like is like transparency about the processes, all the project financial statements and everything. Those information are very helpful while understanding that, yeah, this regional center is doing great. It will you can trust him and it's professional. Then the testimonials and detailed information on the website about the project and financial statement about the project, what the progress has made, what type of loans project already has, and what they are going to use EB5 fund as a part of that project. So those all things were like very helpful at deciding the project.
And in terms of the developer, the builder of the project, how important was it for you that Coulter was the one that was developing the Twin Lakes project?
Yeah, so that was like after COVID time, and the market was not like, no one knows that which way it will go. So then I was looking for through the projects, and I feel like the single family homes are still in very demand, and that's how I came with the Twin Lakes, and then found that Coulter Group is developing it. It's very like good builder with good financial condition and the experience. So that is what I like the most about them. And the other thing is the Twin Lakes is the rural project, so that matches with the TEA and the amount I can invest. Other thing I looked at the time was like Twin Lakes has a loan repayment guarantee, and that is very like helpful to reduce the risk while you are investing this big amount for EB5.
In terms of the project's, qualification as rural, why was that appealing to you? Why did you, put an emphasis on trying to find a project in a rural area versus, a non-rural project?
So rural area, like it has like set amount of set aside. I think it is 20%, right? So that gives a, while I have always faced that in H1 H1 green card, there is always a backlog, and if it happens with EB5, then you already have invested the money, you are in the process, and you cannot come out and all that process. So that's why it's very good that you are going to, if the process goes all fine, you are going to get the green card on time. So you don't, there is no like waiting time. That's why I went for the TEA.
And in terms of the job creation of the project, how important was it for you that the Twin Lakes project, at the time you invested, had more than enough jobs for you to complete the process? What was the importance of that?
It was also like a very important part, because I think every investor need at least 10 job creation, and Twin Lakes has like way more than, I think it was around 43 per investor at the time when I invested. So that was like also very comforting that job is already created. So while USAS is looking for the file, they don't need to worry about like whether the job is there or not. It's way more than what is required.
Diligence process. I know you looked at several other projects as well, other than the Twin Lakes project. What were the differences? What kind of made you more interested in Twin Lakes versus some of the other projects that you looked at?
Yeah, the financial is the main part of it, because Twin Lakes has like around 16%, if I'm not wrong, that of EB5 investment, and everything else is secured by the bank loans. So that was the part where you can trust on the project that it's going to happen regardless of the EB5 investment. So, and that's how, though your money is at risk, but it is still safe. There are good chances that it won't fail, or it won't hurt the process of EB5.
Have you had a chance to visit the project in person yet, or are you planning to visit at some point in the future?
Yeah, I'm planning to visit it. I haven't like still got chance to visit the project yet.
In terms of the regional center, EB5AN, can you tell us a little bit about what that experience was like working with the regional center team on getting your application together and making sure you had access to all the documents, the financial statements, all the home sale data, all of that?
Yeah, so most of the things I got from the website, and if I had any question, then I was getting very quick reply. I also talked to Ahmed about a few of my questions, and you guys were also like very helpful on spot reply for any of the questions, and that is very important while investing in EB5.
So, having gone through the process successfully now, in less than a year, what advice would you have for other, H1B investors like you who are considering EB5, and may make an investment, in the near future? What are some of the kind of, 2 or 3 main pieces of advice that you would share?
So main thing is like, first of all, understand the EB5 process, because when you are on H1, you don't know anything about it except just the name. So go through the process a couple of places to understand it and compare it very well. Go with the regional center which gives you more information, which is transparent, and you have like good feeling about, you don't know the topic and then you have all the details that you can understand. So those are the 2 things that I would suggest, that it's a good thing to start with the EB5 investment.
And again, also, having gone through everything successfully, let's say on a 0 to 100 scale, how would you rank your experience with EB5AN and working with NIDA to get your application together?
I would rate 100 out of 100 for both EB5AN and Anahita. Without them, like EB5AN and Anahita, I think it was like I was expecting it to be very difficult process and lot of roadblocks, but it was very smooth.
Now that you've got all these approvals and your mind is at ease, your son is going to have a smooth time pursuing medical career in the U.S. What are your plans now? Now that this is kind of behind you.
So yeah, like that was like, first of all, it was like very stress relieving thing. So and the main thing is like, while you are on H1, you are tied with an employer, and like you can only do one job. Going ahead, I'm planning to do like consultancy thing. That is the main thing, and that has like economic benefit as well as freedom.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Milan, for taking the time over the weekend to chat and share your experience. We really appreciate it, as do many of our potential investors in the future who will get a chance to watch this.